Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Trainman, and welcome back to the Zombie Train. This week, what we're doing is we are tackling the pass. The pass? The pass is the other thing. We're tackling the Gorge this week. And, so, what we end up doing is we are building up this section that attaches between, that line over there that I don't really have a name for. It runs to Milford, and the Gorge itself. Now, these two, also, we're building up the area around this, because this is all flat. It shouldn't be all flat. That's kind of the problem right now. It should not all be flat, and that is why we're running into... that's why it's looking weird. And the reason I have to do this episode, and I spend the entire 2-hour single segment, which is the first time I've done a single segment episode in a long while, the reason I do that is because I need this done for recording episode 10, which is coming out shortly. Not shortly. You know, it's going to be a week from Saturday, if I recall correctly, that this episode comes out. This Saturday is not my episode, it's Swybold's. And I've been rounding up supplies for that, and this is one of the last things I have to do before starting production. So, it's a lot of making green, a lot of making trees, and a lot of finishing up the little fiddly bits and terrain work, and frankly doing a lot more than I expected, and but just as much as I needed, in truth. What I was basing this on is I need this for more or less a single shot. A single shot that's of the Gorge Bridge from more or less the underside. And that becomes problematic when you realize that none of the section is done. You just need to figure out where the draw distance is and where the camera's going to be positioned. And that's why I keep going down to a specific angle. I'm not sure if I've done it yet. I wasn't paying attention. But from the underside of the bridge, more or less, where you can see a fairly large swath of just terrain work and stuff that I looked at it and went, okay, this is what we have to get done. What am I looking for right now? Alright. And so we take care of this area, and I'm trying to maintain consistency in what everything looks like. In this whole map, or in this whole area, I realize, though, there is a point of significant inconsistency, and that is, Jader and I, and additionally, I think Kavan and I, used different, like, baseboard green textures, and so I'm going to have to reconcile that when I get a little bit closer to Milford down there. That's why I didn't really get any closer than I am. The attachment to Douglas, I can just use whatever green he has, because there's a section of brownish in between. So that's not something to be particularly worried about. Anyways, once again, I kept making it to an extent, and then going, this is good, and then repositioning the camera and going, no, that isn't good, I need to do more. And that's sort of what, not what did me in, but what ended up making me spend almost the entire episode on this, and then doing a little bit of signaling on the route in general. Because it occurred to me that I changed my mind on bidirectionalizing a couple of the segments. this is an autosave. By the way, somebody asked me how long it takes to autosave. That's about 3 minutes of autosave. Chopped down into the video, that's, 3/8 of a minute. So I don't feel like doing the math for that right now. So 3/8 times 60 seconds. That'd be 180 over 8, so 18 seconds. Okay. No, wait, 180 over 8, so... Now, that doesn't work out. Well, cancel it if you divide by 2 on both, so you get 90 over 4. And then do it again, you get 45 over 2. And so it's 22 and a half seconds of autosave. If it were to be exactly 3 minutes, which it was not, I have no doubt. Trains doesn't do that. Trains is not nearly that specific. Anyways, it's a lot of Maple Beach birch around here, which is nice to finally see that side of the gorge a little bit livened up. It actually is very refreshing to say, okay, this section is done. You know, because I've been staring at it for so long and going, oh, well, I'll get to this one eventually. But now I don't have to. You know, and in the 11th hour, I got this thing done. It wasn't really the 11th hour. This isn't recording day. This isn't, you know, that kind of thing. I just killed someone. Wow. I'm watching, I'm watching the AI on the train's route. That's why I, at the end, double, bidirectionalize some of the signaling. Oh, and Johnson's going through a dartboard, of course, because he's supposed to. And then effing Dan is stuck because he lost half of his train. Anyways, let's get back to what we were doing here. And this is, you know, it gets monotonous, sort of, but every section is different. And, like, each time I'll do something and it'll give me different consequences, and therefore just kind of make me go, oh, okay, well, I gotta do this way. And so I ended up turning this into I wanted to turn it into one giant hill, but I started building up one side of it right there by accident, and went, okay, well, I'll roll with this. And that's basically what came out of it. Although I'm not sure if I actually treed this whole thing. I probably did. And then I grassed a large section. Uh-oh. Somebody crashed something again. Let's see who it was. We're gonna play the name game with Iron Horseman characters and see who derailed the train. Let's see. It is a and now there's more derailed. Why can't I turn the camera? Nope, you have your whole train. What about you? Hopefully it's just the end of a train, because it'd be bad if it was anything else. So anyways, using this texture for the steepest stuff, and then using some other texture for the less steep stuff, and then using grass for the even less steep stuff. I bet you I know where it was. Apparently this split it into two consists and then derailed one of them, and unless it was right here. I thought stuff locked junctions. Uh-oh. Well, that isn't the end of the train for sure. The thing I need to know is, are all the cars derailed? Thank God. You know, I realize in these AI sessions it's okay to lose the back end of a train. Because it's just all AI, nobody's needing the resources, nothing like that. And I'm still building trees in the video, so I'm allowed to be distracted and talk about this instead. Anyways. Oh, Bald is waiting for access to something. Where's Bald? Oh, these guys are stuck facing one another. They'll figure it out. Sooner or later. Probably later. Probably significantly later. Oh, never mind. Dan figured it out. Dan's going. Wait a minute. Dan's stupid. Dan didn't go the right way. Hopefully these guys are, locked, and they remain locked. You know, the switches locking is a real point of contention here. Alright, so I was trying to figure out what kinds of grass. I decided to grab the grass that I've used previously, and it sort of worked out. It blended with the stuff we had. I turned that into a rocky background. And then I strung grass all around it because it's something you'd see, so I decided to make it look good. Anyways. And then I went, no, you know what? It's going to be a weird, jarring transition from one kind of grass to the other. I have an open space where the grass could transition, and... Okay, he's going in the yard now. That's interesting. That's a change. I've never seen that happen before. Anyways, I decided to try and use this other kind of grass that somebody else threw to me, or that Milky put in that section, and I went, well, okay, that works. Ooh, and now we've got parallel trains because Sally was held up long enough that somebody else is coming up beside her. I wonder who it is. We'll find out in a second. Anyways, I think I'm going to actually throw an abandoned track down that gravel road there that we just passed on the right. Because the gradient on it is actually not too terrible, and it kind of makes sense that there'd be something thrown down that way. You know, I gotta check on Stallion. The Italian Stallion. Has anyone seen the new Rocky movie? What is it called? It's called Creed, isn't it? Is that out yet? I don't even know. My dad's a big Rocky fan. He'd probably know. Anyways. Whoa, the camera's moving fast. 8 times speed. It was really something. I decided to clean up this, and I don't replace it with anything. I was considering replacing it with something, but whatever. Wow, and, oh, Dan has navigated the dwarf boards successfully. That's nice. This is the grass I'm going to use for this area now because I'm just trying to match what other people have given me. Oh, look, it's a headless Johnson. Johnson, the engine. Okay, there's the engine. The engine. Hey, it's a hawk meet. The long hawk and the short hawk. Oh, except Johnson has to stop for Sally. Don't let her walk all over you, Johnny. Alright, anyways. Let's see if he tries to pass her. I'm doing a play-by-play here, I guess. And in the background, I'm listening to the Skype call. That was actually fairly smart of the AI to do what they did, though. I'm kind of amazed. It was really dumb, but at the same time, surprisingly intelligent. Where's there's what's his face? Scott, which isn't a character that's been introduced, and is probably not one that will be introduced for a very long time. If anything, he's going to be coming up from the south. Around Branville. And just on a run through freight. He can be our one-off. You know, I'm trying to restrict one-off characters in the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Because I don't want to get Thomas Syndrome, where we have a list of 10,000 characters that we've only used once. And that never show up again. So, basically we have our finite list of characters, and I've said, you know, if we're going to do a one-off, pull from the list of characters and do a one-off with them. But anyways, autosave real quick. And by real quick, I mean another 3 minutes, wait. Oh, we get another derailment. Let's see who. Let's see who. Is it you? No, it's not you. Is it you? Is it you? Yep, it's her. Well, Sally lost the back end of her train. Man, I wish junctions would remain locked, because occasionally you'll get a junction refresh that washes through the map, and that F's over everything. At least that's what I'm calling it. Alright, anyways, and there's the angle that we got, and that was almost perfect if you saw that. Compare that to the first time I did that at the beginning of the video. It looks so much better now. So we're taking care of this grass, and it looks kind of shiny from distant. Oh, look at that new swath of green on the map there. All right, and now I go ahead and I take care of double direct or bidirectionalizing, as I say, these signals. Uh oh, you're stuck, aren't you? You're stuck because you're waiting for the crashed trains to respawn or despawn, respawn. You want them to go away. If there's anything I've learned, it's for the AI's sake, you need to add more signals, I guess, not less. Although, you know, there's a really happy medium you've got to find. I decided to re-add this signal bridge, because despite the fact that it was clipping in, I do need the signals there. Other than that, the area really is in the middle of nowhere. What is wrong with this signal? Block is occupied. Yeah, it's occupied by broken trains, and they'll be there for another minute or so. Anyways. Double ending all these signals. I hope I didn't miss any. I don't think I missed any. I may well have, though. There are some weird blocks that I made and then was trying to avoid making, or you know, remaking or whatever. But oh well, that's just kind of the way it is right now. And this is facilitating the run session I'm doing right now, which is just AI. It's allowing them to pick up more speed and clear the map quicker. I set the portals to spawn a train at 1 every 10 minutes, and the map is barely handling it. And it's, as I've said, it's derailing trains left and right. It's just yanking the ends off trains from time to time. Like Dan made it to Troy from Douglas. I ran an RDC from Douglas to Troy on AI power alone, which was nice because it didn't really get stuck anywhere. Although it did remind me that I need to redo the switches and stuff in Douglas. And signals and whatnot. I need to bring them up to my code. I need to bring them up to standards. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this standards, and I'll see y'all next week with more of the same. Trainman out.